Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to discuss the new Feral Legendary coming in 9.1 for nightfae specifically. Is it any good? Is it our best in slot? How does it feel, Sai? What does it really mean? And that's what I'm going to be discussing in this video with a little bit of gameplay action from the new dungeon as well. But before we do get into that, I wanted to take a moment to welcome in and thank our new sponsor for this episode. They are called EcoVape, and they are releasing their new role-play vape range of e-liquids. So they're a UK-based company. They make all of the e-liquids here in England, I think based up in Nottingham. And yeah, if you're somebody who already who's looking to quit smoking, or somebody who already vapes, then they might be worth checking out for you. I do have a discount code attached to that, so if you type SAI50 into the checkout, then you'll be able to get a 50% off discount on their products and their RPV, their roleplay vape range. So yeah, definitely check that out. It is UK based only, so if you are interested and you're from Europe, then let me know in the comment section how you can go about, getting your own and whatnot. And yeah, but all the links to that and stuff will be in the description down below. Thanks again to them for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into it. So I'll start off this video by just quickly mentioning I am not a theory crafter, right? Yes, I'm, a high ranking Mythic Plus Feral player. I raid Mythic Plus on Feral, I'm 10 out of 10, and I get some high rankings and whatnot, but I am not a theory crafter. If you do want theory crafter inputs, then feel free to go and find those on, Wowhead or, various guides and whatnot. The nightfae one's very interesting. So it actually reduces the cooldown of your Convoke by 1 minute, but you do half the amount of spells now. So you have 8 spells. And in theory, that sounds really good, right? Because for multiple reasons. Because now it lines up with your Berserk perfectly, right? Because you have it every minute rather than every 2 minutes. So it lines up with your Berserk. It also means that you can squeeze it into fights more, right? You don't have to hold on to it as long. You can pretty much use it on cooldown, and then you have it up for Berserk, whatever that may be. So you can use more Convokes in a given fight. It gives you potentially like more consistent burst, if that makes sense. And you're getting more access to Nia's Grove Invigoration, the mastery gain that you're getting when you use your Convoke, because your Convoke is going to give you 16 stacks of that mastery gain, which I think works out to roughly 400 or so mastery. And then there is the addition of the new Soulbind, which I think we can get onto at some point. I'll try and find that whilst I'm discussing this. Yeah, so as I was saying, you then have access, with 9.1, you're going to have additional Soulbinds, right? You're going to be unlocking more along that tree. And for Nia, you actually have this Bonded Heart, which is gaining a stack of redirected anima from Grove Invigoration, heals up to 5 nearby allies for 2% of their health. If any of the affected allies are of another covenant, which is unlikely because everybody's nightfae, but redirected anima's mastery and maximum health effects are increased by 50% for 5 seconds. So that redirected anima mastery that you're getting here from Grove Invigoration is then increased by 50% for 5 seconds. So you're gaining access to not only more consistent mastery, but also increased mastery because now you have this Bonded Heart. So the fact that your nightfae covenant ability, your Convoke, would be on a 1 minute cooldown would mean that you're constantly getting this mastery gain, and that will line up really well with Tiger's Fury and that kind of stuff. So on paper, this actually looks very, very good. However, in theory, when you're actually playing it out, I don't know that I love how it plays. So when we're actually jumping into the dungeon, and this is Tazavesh, the new dungeon that's going to be coming in 9.1, and I will potentially cover this in another video at some point, maybe when it just releases or something like that. But when you do actually jump into this, I jumped into this dungeon and I was using Celestial Spirits, the new legendary. And what I was finding with it was, yeah, it was really nice having Convoke on a 1 minute cooldown. But what I'd end up doing, and we'll see if we can get a snap of this and I'll hone in on it, is you end up doing 1 Regrowth, 1 Rejuve, a Thrash, maybe a Wrath, maybe a Moonfire. And you only get 1 Shred, maybe 1 Ferocious Bite, or maybe 1 or 2 Shreds and maybe 1. I don't think I even really saw 2 bites at any point when I was using this. So yeah, it's nice that you're getting this mastery, and it's nice that your cooldown lines up with Berserk more, and it's nice that you're getting more burst, or more consistent burst. The issue being is that the Convoke itself doesn't feel very strong. And when I was testing it, it just felt like I'm losing 4 or 5 bites over the course of a 2-minute Convoke window. So the actual damage output didn't feel that strong. Now, whether this is going to end up being the case, I mean, they might do some tuning with it. They might try and hunt for more ferocious bites or more shreds or something, potentially, which would be great. But because as well, also Celestial Spirits, it will try and do a significant spell cast more often, which for us would be Feral Frenzy. Whereas, like, if you're Balanced Druid, you're getting more full moons. If you can get 1 full moon each Convoke, then you've just doubled the amount of full moons that you're getting in that 2-minute, you know, that regular 2-minute Convoke window. So if you were getting 2 full moons, that would be really significant. It would also mean for Balanced Druids that you could have your Convoke up for every single CA and you wouldn't have to hold it. So you could actually fish for these full moons and then also have it up for CA and then get another full moon. So you're actually, like, for Balanced Druid, it feels like it would be very, very effective. For Feral Druid, though, getting access to, like, more Feral Frenzies doesn't really feel like a significant... It's great on single target, but it's not really going to be great on AoE or anything like that, or, like, I guess, cleave as much. Or, you know, on 2 targets, sure. But if it's, like, 3-4 targets, then you're not really going to get great value out of that. The other thing as well is looking at how it's going to decide on what spells to cast. Like I mentioned, with each Convoke, it will try and cast a couple heal abilities, a couple balance abilities, and then also feral abilities, and like mainly feral abilities. So you'll get like at least 8 to 10 feral specific abilities in a normal Convoke. Whereas with the 1-minute Convoke, it feels, and the 8 spell cast, it feels like you're actually just getting like 3 or 4 abilities, maybe. So feral abilities. So it doesn't feel as like significant. And then when you're looking at how that's actually going to work, if you're in a 2-target pack, it's going to probably try and regrowth, rejuve, probably thrash. It will try and moonfire both of them. So already that's like 5 of your spells gone. Then it might try and, if you have Rake already on both targets, that's great. It might try and Tiger's Fury if you don't have Tiger's Fury available. So that's another ability. But how many like shreds and bites and feral frenzies, like these more meaningful spellcasts, are you actually going to get? I don't think it's going to be that many. Maybe 1, maybe 2. Then when you go into mass AoE, you're not really going to get... Again, you're going to get 1 shred, you're going to get 1 bite. And when you actually then say, okay, well, let's multiply that amount by 2... Again, you're only getting 2 or 3 shreds, 2 bites, maybe 2, 3 bites, maybe in a Convoke, whereas normally we would get like 4 shreds and 4 to 6 bites. So it feels like we're drastically diminishing the amount of abilities we're actually getting, but we are getting that mastery gain. Now, you're also losing another legendary. So you're no longer going to have Deep Focus in Raid on single target. You're no longer gonna have Frenzy Band in Raid, right? You're not gonna have Circle of Life and Death in AoE, in Mythic Plus, Uncapped Primal Wrath AoE, and then you compare that to a 1-minute Convoke, where yes, you're getting nice mastery gain, but you're only doing a couple Moonfires, a couple Rakes, maybe a bite. It's not really gonna weigh up, I think, compared to having that Circle of Life and Death. So I do very much feel like this legendary, in theory, seems pretty good. And I definitely feel like there will be some fights where it will be used, specifically in a raid scenario, something like if there was another Sludge Fist fight where you wanted your Convoke on every single pillar, and then it could also line up with your Berserk perfectly, then this would be a very good legendary, I feel. But I think in the grand scheme, I don't think it's going to be our new best in slot, and I don't think for Mythic Plus it will really even be used at all. I think I even try and get this week or going so I can get my Convoke. And so in this Convoke, I got 1 ferocious bite. I got 2 ferocious bites. I got 2 regrowths, 2 rejuves, a wrath, and a thrash. But I am at 17 stacks of Near's Invigoration. That's really good. That's really cool. Let's see if we can find another one. So that one I got 2 bites. Cool. Okay. 2 shreds. Nice. I got 2 rejuves, a wrath, and 1 rake, but I was only in range to do 1 rake anyway. So I don't know. Some of these are looking okay, like with, you know, maybe getting 2 bites here. But I just think in general, I don't feel like it's going to be a fantastic legendary unless they maybe tune it a bit more. Because you're losing another legendary slot is the key thing. You be the judge. You let me know what you think about this legendary. I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. And yeah, don't forget to check out EcoVape, our sponsor for this episode. Their stuff is all in the description as well, so check that out and help support me and help support them and be able to get more content like this. Thanks for watching. See you soon.